Welcome back to the channel, folks. We are here with another PCGS submission. The coins back just earlier today from Santa Ana, California, where the weather is quite fine, certainly better than it is here in the greater Boston area. We have 16 US coins at an economy level submission, which consists of several Morgan dollars. We have a nice seated half dollar. We have 3 Lincoln cents, all 1938 S over S or S over S over S. We have a couple of 1936 Cleveland commemorative half dollars, which were in the original government packaging, if you remember. And got those at the live auction in October, and the underbidder was very aggressive, and we ended up talking after the auction. He really bid those to a point where I didn't want to do enough. I didn't even want to go to the bid I went, and I was regretting that I went as strong as I did, because the Cleveland's not super rare or not even that expensive, even in MS66. So I feel like I overpaid, but finding them in the original government packaging, I'm a sucker for that. I tend to overpay and overvalue for that matter, but we were talking after the auction, and he told me that he had run into some coins very similar to that in the months past, and with the almost exact same look, also in the government packaging, and he submitted them and got consistent grades of 66 and a couple 67s out of PCGS. And he thought one of them was a 66 lock and the other one was a 66 shot 67. I guess we'll find out how close he was. I thought they were closer to 65s. I don't send a lot of these in, so I really don't know what to expect, and I guess we'll find out in a few minutes. But my inclination is anything above a 65 would be rather shocking. Certainly would be great, but I won't be disappointed if they were to come back 65 or even lower. So we'll not waste any more time and get right into it. All right, guys, we are back, and we are going to cut the tape and get right into it. Let's see what happens on this last submission of the year 2024. We don't have anything currently at PCGS. We do have some stuff that is getting ready to go, but we don't have anything there. So if we next grades would be at least a couple months away. All right, complimentary submission form. They're still taped up. Here's our original submission form. So let's see. 82.0 Morgan that I said was PL. Tidy House toned. 83.84. Sorry, yeah, 83p. Yep. $87 and an $87 with a VAM. 79S, 81S, and then the 71S half dollar. Oh yeah, the Indian cents, 1866 and 1870. There's a S over S, 2 and 1. The Cleveland, and a 1908 S Indian cent that I completely forgot about. So we have 16 coins in total, and I don't know why, I don't have a great feeling for this one. I just feel like after the last one, getting 2 MS70s on those 91 Pandas, I just feel like we're ready for a downer, but I know that's crazy. That's like saying the roulette wheel has been red 10 times in a row, so it's got to be black, right? Next spin. That logic has made many a man broke. The law of independent results. But the reality is, sooner or later, it does have to roll black. But each spin in and of itself is 50-50. Less, of course, the green numbers, if there are any, but we are a little off track. All right, so we are going to try to do this without seeing any results. We don't see any body bags, so it looks like all 16 of them at least were gradable. Whether they were numerically gradable or not, we shall see. We are going to go from the front back, and that means we'll kick off with this 82O that I thought had a shot of a PL quality. So I've got the camera up a little bit higher than I normally would. Probably trying to change the lighting once again, or improve on the lighting. Give me 1 second, I'm going to move this setup just a wee bit, see if we can get a better, that's a little better. Okay, put this out of the way so I don't have an accident. All right, so I think it's not hard to see the PL quality of the reverse, and I'm not seeing anything that would hinder, other than contact marks, that would keep the grade lower in that 62 or 3 range. Let's take a look at the obverse and see what we got. Probably a little stronger reflectivity on the reverse, but again, this is bad camera work, bad lighting. I think it's definitely enough for a PL. I'm just trying to decide if I like it as a 2 or a 3. They've been very strict lately, so I'm looking at it through the camera, I'm looking at it without the camera. There's a lot of chatter in the left field. I'll say 62. I'll say 62 PL. No, we didn't get a non-gradable, so that's good. That's always the first check. I'll say 62 PL. Look at that, huh? 1 for 1. Should we quit? I think it just missed the 63. They've been very strict lately, and I think that's a direct result of CAC being very strict to the majority of the submissions. Yeah, I think that's about right. I mean, I could have gone on board with either grade, but 62 is not all that shocking based on what we saw going on there. And we have these tidy house, some serious color on a few of these. This one was almost electric, and it makes me nervous that it might not be gradable. I've not gotten a questionable color grade. I don't mean to, this isn't even wood, it's cardboard, but it's wood derivative. In probably, I don't even know, 3 years? It's been a long time since I've got a questionable color. The last one was on a 1909 VDB penny. That was Unk Details questionable color, and I remember that one vividly. It was back in 2022. All right, let's take a look at the obverse. It's very electric. And that made me a little nervous. But this one, unlike the 81S from the previous video, didn't have that lacquered look. Much more natural, flatter over the cheek. Yeah, we got a straight grade. So I don't even know, 63 maybe. I think it's a very typical 63. And I'm very happy. They must have upgraded it for the color, or maybe they just thought that, I mean, it does have very clean surfaces. And the luster is always going to be muted when you have this type of color. So 62 or 63 last coin went 62, 63 or 64 this coin went 64. Very happy with that, and I think that's fair and accurate. I don't think it's any higher than that. So all right, we'll move on to the next coin, which is another tidy house. Not as dramatic as the last one. This is an 85O We showed these when they were raw several videos back. The obverse toning is a little bit more colorful than what we're looking at on the reverse here. I don't think that's, I'm not sure what that is. I don't remember that being there. I don't know if that's on the holder. It doesn't look like it's on the coin. That's very strange. If it is on the coin, I think we're doomed. Yeah, not as vibrant as your typical Tidy House, but this was right out of a Tidy House package. This one has much more contact marks. This one might be a 62. I think the luster is kind of flat. We did get a straight grade. 62, maybe a 3. Yep, it's flatter on the luster, and the it's just not as attractive as the other one. So 84.0, sorry, I said 85.0. Fair enough. This one is nicer than it looks on the camera, but not as nice as the last one by any stretch. Let's see what we got next. Forget what this is. Philadelphia, whatever it is. Oh yeah, the 287s. Is this the Gator Eye or the regular one? One of these is a Gator Eye. Or hoping for that VAM attribution. That's what we submitted it as. I don't remember if it's this one or the second one. This one's pretty clean, pretty lustrous. I don't know if it's a shot 5. Should be a solid 4. A little bit of chatter to the left of the cheek. Of the chin, I mean. I would say it's a 64. All right, we're gradable, so 64. Looks like you're very typical and average, everyday, run-of-the-mill 64 to my eye. And there we have it. Just a couple marks shy of the next grade. This should be the potential Gator Eye. And that's on the eyelid. It's doubling of the eyelid. Alligator Eye. We'll see. Anything is possible. Not as lustrous as the last one. Not quite as nice. Maybe that puts this at 63, although the obverse is pretty clean and creamy. Couple marks right on the cheek. All right, straight grade, 5 for 5. 63. Do we get the VAM? We sure do, but we get a 62 now. I'm kind of puzzled at that. I don't really see why it's so low. Top 100. I'm not a VAM guy. It was sold at auction and advertised as such, and I looked at it. You're not going to catch it on this video, unfortunately, but the doubling of the eyelid, you can get it online at VAM World, which they moved it to, it's like a Wikipedia sponsored link, but shouldn't be too hard to find. We're just not going to get the pixels to capture this with this, use an iPad, unfortunately. We have to invest in a camera next year. I would have thought this was a 63. They must, I think it was probably dipped once too many times, maybe. And the luster's a little bit dead. Still, there's not a huge premium on that coin. There is some, but it's, even though it's a top 100, the premium is relatively, I don't want to say negligible, but it's not even 2x. This one has a very strong PL reverse. I think this is a 79S. I don't think we have the PL on the obverse. I would have written it like I did with the 82.0, but you can see how much reflectivity we have on that beautiful reverse. Really frosty devices and just wonderful, almost deep mirror on that reverse. I mean, it probably is. If we had that going on in the obverse, I'd be a happy man, but we do have some reflectivity, but we're not going to get it. I just know we're not going to get it. It's not enough. It's too satiny. There's not enough consistent reflectivity. There's some, but not like the reverse. I think the reverse will give it an extra half a point. I think this is a 63, line 64 that they bump up. All right, straight grade, no surprise there. I'll say they give this one a 4, just because the luster is so nice and the reverse is so nice. Yep. 1 or 2 less contact marks on the front on the obverse, and we might have our 65, but they're harder to get now. We used to get 65s fairly routinely. In the last 6 to 9 months, I would say they've become a lot stricter. Maybe the quality of the coins I'm submitting is a lot worse. Could be a combination of both. I think this is an 81S, probably just an average 63 or 64 that was just kind of thrown in. Nice full strike. Look at those bold feathers, huh? Nice white coin with a couple hints of toning here and there. Not the most beautiful 81S that you'll ever see. They're very common. And this one's probably a 63, which is like a $50 coin nowadays. We haven't got the genuine yet, so I'm sure they're saving that for the end. I'll say 63. 63 plus. Plus what? Plus or minus? That's interesting. I don't think I've got a 63 plus grade. I've got 64 or 65 plus, but don't get the 63 plus very often. Good enough. And we are shifting gears now to this glorious Liberty seated $50 that I hope PCGS found glorious. I had this as an XF40 if it straight grades. Steel gray. Nice feather and shield detail. Those horizontal shield lines all the way across in bold, and neck feathers. This might even be a 45. We do have some trace luster on the perimeter. Let's just hope it straight grades and there's nothing here that will cause something to be shocked. The other thing we look for is the three-dimensionality of the obverse stars, I like to say. Are they six-sided separation? And on just about all of them we have it. We have that third dimension, that height. And you can see the luster on the chest rolling over the robe. I mean, yeah, I think it's a 45 now that I'm looking at it. I think I tapered my X-Vector shield, the Liberty shield. All the lines, horizontal and vertical, are pretty detailed. We do have a straight grade, so that was critical. I don't see any reason it wouldn't. I'm going to say 45. I wouldn't be shocked if they AU50 it, but I'll say 45. Should have stuck with my first instinct. I guess I got a little carried away, but I think it's close. I really do. It's a wonderful grade, and my initial instinct turned out to be, you know what they say, when you're taking those tests in school, go with your first instinct, and if all else fails, take the letter C. All right, what's next? One of the pennies? Yeah, we get a couple Indian cents. I think we'll see some damage on one or two of these, I'm afraid. I'm trying to get some better lighting here. These are tough to get good lighting. And make some adjustments here. All right, let's see what we got here. Besides the fact that we can't see anything with the reflection. Let me move the try this another way for these coins. Hold on 1 second. All right, 1866, nice full Liberty. This one I had as a 40 as well. I think it's 1.5 diamonds. Maybe 1. Maybe it's a VF35 now that I'm looking at it. Might be just shy of a 40. It is gradable, so that's a good sign. A little bit of weakness on the end, but there is in those late 60s, early 70s. Top end. I think that's a dye variety under, we have to ask the #1 authority on Indian head scents, Mr. Rick Snow himself. It's not a strong series for me. I'm going to say VF35. We did get the 40. That's good. That's a big difference. It's that extremely fine versus that choice very fine. So that's nice. Again, got to go with that first instinct. All right, the next Indian head scent is more worn, if I remember correctly. Although we do see some decent detail on the wreath and on the shield. A little flatter on the horizontal lines. Quite worn at the top right of the wreath. Let's see what we got on the obverse. 1870, that looks like a fine. Maybe a fine 15. Hopefully they don't call it cleaned. The surface is a little bit, I don't want to say muddy. There's no hairlines per se, but I don't know. Almost looks wet. Oh, we got a straight grade. That's awesome. This is a tough date. This is a shallow end variety, which this one isn't. One of the ends is shallow. That's why they call it a shallow end. It's like the shallow end of the pool. Don't go diving. You'll hurt yourself. I'm going to say fine 15. Whoa! Whoa, baby. That's definitely more than I thought I'd get out of this. If I was selling this raw, I'd call it a choice fine. But that's why I'm not any type of authority on Indian head scents. But I will say I'm very pleased with that result. I think we're getting into the Lincoln scents next. And we're probably going to be in that MS 64 or 65 range for all of them, if I remember. Dye polish above the O and 1. Almost, got some almost proof-like qualities to this. This came out of a roll. One of my rolls. A little bit of marks here and there. I would say it's a 65. And can we get the S over S? You can see the to the left. Let me see if I can get a pointer. Sorry for the amateur. Oops. 1 second. Okay. You can see right there the back part of the tail. tail of the S under and then up over here to the right. If we could zoom in and use a loop, you'd get a better understanding, but I would say it's a 65 red. RPM S over S over S, FS 502. That's a beauty. Beautiful. I know it's not a super high grade. It's, I don't even know, 50, 60 bucks, something in that range. Again, submitted for fun more than for profit. This one's probably, I think they're all going to be very similar. See that reflectivity, but by pluribus. Really pretty. Really pretty. Little toning spot at the Liberty there. A couple water spots. Probably hold that grade down. I don't see as many contact marks on this one. You can see the S over S quite clearly with the naked eye. 65 red. 64 red. Maybe the water spots. Well, that must be it, because I said I expected 64 or 65, but looking at it second time, I thought we had a really good shot of a 65, but let's see what we got on the last one. Could be red-brown. A little more toned, a little darker. Try something. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's lousy. Lousy camera work, lousy setup. Next year we will improve upon it. I think I said that last year. All right, this one's borderline red, red, brown. Let me see the obverse. It's probably red. I don't see that much discolor. Probably 64 again. Red, brown, yeah. All right, so just not quite enough red on that one. So S over S on that one. FS 501, FS 502 on the first two. So the difference, you're going to have to look it up because I won't be able to, but I did list them that way on the form. Let me grab it. It feels good to be vindicated. 2 triple S, line 11. 2 of them, quantity 2, and then 1, FS 501. Now we're coming up to the Clevelands and then the 1908S. And I don't want to jinx myself. It's like a baseball player who's gone 3 for 3 with 3 home runs, looking for a four home run game and 4 for 4. I haven't had a submission without a genuine in a while. I used to get them fairly regularly, but it's been a while since we've gone perfect on anything more than 10 coins. We still got 3 left, so 3 chances to fail. Here's one of those Clevelands, and the interesting thing is the way that they were positioned in the original government packaging, and I'm sorry I should have brought it out of the safe for this video, is you had a toned obverse on one and a toned reverse on the other as they sat obverse up, reverse up, respectively, in the original packaging. And this one was obviously reversed down because the obverse will be the toned side. And here it is. Looks a lot like the Gettysburg toning that we had recently. That mottled. A lot of people would dip that coin before sending it in, but I'm a sucker for original surfaces, whether the toning is necessarily attractive or not. To me, the attraction is not in what it looks like from a totally artistic point of view as much as it's original, and that's the attraction. All right, technical difficulties there. We're going to rush through these last few. I don't know, 64, 65. Well, we did get the 66, so the guy was onto something there. He said he thought that they were both 66 and one had a shot of a 67, so that's pretty good. It's pretty good. Be tough to match that, I would think, but let's take a look and see. Here we're going to have the toned reverse. And then the obverse will be a little bit more straight grade again. We only get that 08S Indian Scent, which I didn't have a lot of hopes for. 66. I have to give him credit next time I see him. Would have been lovely to get a 67, but that's really asking a lot. Can we go perfect? Looking like at least a fine from the reverse, but and we do have a full Liberty. We have bold rims, a little glossy. I would say fine 15. Ooh, wow, we got the perfect submission, no duds. So that's good. Running out of memory. That's why I have to kind of rush through this one. Fine 15. I was wrong twice on these. Wow, that does not look like a 25. I'm going to have to go back to the photo grade on these Indian Scents. I've been too conservative in my grading of these, but that's a very nice reason. And problem solved. We had too many movies stored there that needed to be deleted, so we've recovered most of our storage, but very, very satisfied with that submission overall, obviously. No duds. Happy to see we got some really good results. Kind of exactly what I was expecting in an idealistic way. You know, the coins that graded what they graded were what I was hoping or expecting they would, assuming they didn't get bagged for being cleaned or whatever. But you notice how they've shifted to only 3 pictures on the True Views now. You can get the other 2 pictures, which are the obverse and reverse, which are, I don't know why they've eliminated them on the app, but now you have to go to a browser and www.pcgs.com/TrueView/the cert number, and you'll get the others. But what an inconvenience, right? For the money we pay? I don't understand that, but that's a pretty fair representation. Not as good as the photography from the Phil Arnold, who left to join Great Collections almost a year ago. We miss him already. Tough grades on some of these. It's obviously going to be very difficult to get above that 64 number with a lot of these Morgan dollars going forward. And now 64 or 63 plus is a fine grade. This one I was very happy about, although it's probably pretty close to a 45. Let's have a look here in CoinFacts, see what CoinFacts has to say. See if I can get the camera steady. So a little over 2 million coins struck, nothing spectacularly rare. Yeah, a couple $100. I mean, they're selling $150. So it's really not that rare, but I love those seeded dollars when they're in the XF or AU grade. Nice and original. So that was good. The 1866 Indian cent was another pretty good result. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, that's an XF40. Yeah, very similar in terms of price. 200 on the price guide, more like 150 real world. I think the 1870 in VF25 is a more valuable coin. Again, not my strong suit for a series, but let's see here. Yeah, 300 on the PCGS, 2 to 250 in real world. So that's cool. And then we have the S over S over S. We have a 65 and a 64 red. And yeah, 50 bucks. I wouldn't think it was anything crazy. As I mentioned, it was done more for fun. So cool. I think the S over S is a little bit scarcer. Let me see, S over S. This one's only a red-brown, so it's not going to show up on the value, or it will be very insignificant. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah, the 65 was $50 on the S over S over S. So the FS501 is the scarcer of the two varieties. And then these Clevelands in 66 will probably be worth maybe 200 bucks. Maybe. Yeah, 180, 150 to 240 in that, 175 to 200 range. And then last but not least, our 08S cent. Doesn't seem to have any true views, or at least they're not loading. This is probably another one that's close to 200. Nope, not even, yeah. 145, yeah, 100 bucks. So cool. As I like to call them, just working man, good collector coins. Not too expensive, not too cheap, but nice quality stuff. So thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, feel free to drop us a comment. Please hit the like button if you like the content. The numbers are going down. I'm sure I know some of the reasons why, but I try to be honest and I try to be fair, and I have no problem with criticism. I don't like trolling. That we have no place for, but all the open, fair criticism is absolutely welcome. I think debate and the art of debate is something that the world is losing. People's feelings are easily hurt, it seems, nowadays, and there's nothing wrong with a healthy debate back and forth. It helps us all learn, and I just think it's just healthy and good. But when people are just trolling and leaving, spreading their negativity, we don't have places for that. So I hope you understand the difference and hope you're on board with that. But certainly feel free to leave your comments. Drop us a like if you like it. And again, we'll say it again. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We'll catch you in the next video.